Any leadership that has no vision is no leadership. Any leadership that has no, that cannot transform is no leadership. Any leadership that cannot bring up successor is no leadership. So all these qualifications of leadership, I think we are begging the question. A leader must be a leader. And the job of a leader is to lead. Lead in all aspects of the form. Now, how can we get leaders for the Africa that we need?
Well, Ibrahim, if I can come to you, yes, you. I had the good fortune and privilege of listening to
Back
you.
Again, this is true life story. This is true memory. If this is your first time, you are very welcome. I'm a Ghanaian living in the UK. This video is a series about African leadership, and I'm just trying to create or react on the videos individually, break it down so we can all learn something out of it. And this particular one is about Mo, the chairperson of the African leadership, Mo Ibrahim. Nigeria ex-president spoke, Obasanjo, if I pronounce him well. He spoke about how leadership supposed to lead and what they can do to become a great leaders. And so it's Mo's turn, and he brought an interesting topic to the table, which is how old our leaders are, and how old how some of them cannot even act because of their age. That was interesting. Consider that Obasanjo at that time was old as well. But he did say, with not disrespectfully, Africa, we have a lot of youth in Africa. And as the Vice President of USA said the other day in her visit to Africa, 1 in 4 in 25 years will be in Africa. Why? Because Africa has more youth than the rest of the world. But our leaders are double or triple the age of the youth. What are they doing about that? Because, for me, something like technology, I don't know too much about it. I'm still learning from my son. These children are our future generation that will inherit the world that we will leave behind. And if our leaders, I'm not saying they don't know technology, some of them know, but I would say the youngest knows better, because some of them, they are handlers. They have handlers that handle their social affairs when it comes to everything concerning internet. So what are they doing about the age gap between our leaders and our future generation? That was the question that he asked, and it was interesting because I watched a video not long ago about one African leader that went to UN summit, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was asking in a language they were interpreting it in English, that what am I doing here? What do I have to say? It was shame. This is very important meeting that you have to go and talk on behalf or speak on behalf of your people. Speak your mind, and it comes once every year or once every how many years. Yet all the money, transportation, the crews together became useless because that president couldn't speak. Maybe, when you are old, I know how it is. Dementia and the rest, we don't know. We have youth that are coming. And that's why it's even now very important to impart some knowledges, to go back and learn our history, to tell our children. Otherwise, the internet world will tell them different story. They need to hear from us, our Africa history, and not what they tell them, that Africa is poor, the poor children with the flies around their nose, the skeleton ones, there's no road, the children that walk miles. Yes, I used to walk miles to school in my days, but not anymore. But those are the pictures they will see. If we do not train them, that brings to the question, if you are African living in the diaspora, what are you teaching your children? Have you been taking them home? It doesn't matter what you tell them. If you don't take them home to learn and see it themselves, it will be like those British people that went to Ghana and they were shocked because they didn't have the opportunity to see Africa themselves except what they saw on the telly. Now they can tell people how Africa or Ghana is like. I'll end my case here. Let's listen to what he has to say, Mo Ibrahim has to say about our old leaders that are ruling us in Africa. Thank you for listening. Maybe we can all listen together.
Any leadership that has no vision is no leadership. Any leadership that has no, that cannot transform is no leadership. Any leadership that cannot bring up successor is no leadership. So all these qualifications of leadership, I think we are begging the question. A leader must be a leader. And the job of a leader is to lead. Lead in all aspects of the form. Now, how can we get leaders for the Africa that we need?
Mo Ibrahim, if I can come to you, I had the good fortune and privilege of listening to you at the annual Nelson Mandela lecture when you spoke. And you certainly didn't, shall we say, mince your words. You were very, very honest and very, very frank. Former President Obasanjo says, how? And you recognize clearly that there is a lack, and I don't think there's anybody in the room who's going to argue differently. How? How do we go about doing that? Because in reality, we need to, and he's right, we need to look at where we want to go and tailor ourselves accordingly. How do we do that?
Thank you. Please allow me to be frank and with respect to many wonderful people around this room here. I'm going to speak in general terms. So nobody please take personal offense. I wish to start really from where President Obasanjo ended. Let us start by looking at the age issue. You politely put it and said, I like to see a critical mass. You see, I've been president for a long time. That's why I always careful with your words. Now, this continent is continent of young people. Half of our people here are below 20 years old. Yes? Look at the average age of our presidents. It's about 63, 64 years old. We're the only continent in the world where we have presidents at 90 years old starting new terms. I mean, you guys are crazy or what? We've seen people in wheelchairs, unable to raise hands to standing for elections. This is a joke. Yes, you are right to laugh because the whole world is laughing at us. I always say, I mean, you look around you. You look, United States, an economy of $15, $16 trillion. We, all of Africa, are less than $1 trillion. This is a 15, $16 trillion economy, right? The most important country in the world, like it or not. Obama, who's happened to be half African anyway, become president when he's 46, 47 years old. He's president. If Obama was in Kenya, what he will be doing now? He will be driving a bus, maybe. Yeah? You look, really, and he's not the youngest president. Clinton was younger than him. Clinton became president at 46 years old. Kennedy was 40 years old, 40 odd subsequent years old when he became president. Why these big countries, much bigger than us, entrust their economies, their nuclear weapons, their oil resources to people who are in their 40s? And we only pick up people at 90 years old to lead us. To lead us where? To the grave?
You are getting jealous.
Yeah, of course I'm jealous. You are brilliant and handsome too, you know?
So what is the how? So we can identify what the problems are, and I don't think anybody's, we're all laughing, but in reality it is a challenge that we have on this continent.
Yeah.
So how do we remedy that? How do we fix that?
Yeah, I think really we need our youth to have the space. We really need to look at our political organizations, our institutions, etc. And we need, this is a young continent, and we need to appreciate that we don't understand the world of those young people. We are out of touch. We have to accept that. The future of those guys who are not going to be there to live it. There's a lot of new challenges facing this new generation, which we have no grips to get to grips with it. And we need to find a way now to bring those younger people more into power. It is the job of us, our current leadership, to try and empower this young generation to bring them in. I can see this happening in some countries. I can see some of the, and interestingly, it is some of the younger presidents in Africa, whom now you go and meet their cabinet, and to see really a lot of young people, a lot of young women sitting there. I mean, that's really refreshing. And so we need to empower and trust this young generation to come forward. They have the energy, they have the know-how, they understand the age.
All.
That will help
and,
us to move forward.
I hope to see you again. Please leave a comment. What do you think about what he said about, our older leaders that are leading us to our graves? It's funny, but it's not. It's serious. It is serious. Because I work with elderly people, and no disrespect, when they get to certain age, even my mom that is old, what they think about is different from when they are in middle age and when they are a bit older. It's different. That's a story for another day. So yeah, where are they leading us to? That's the question. I will see you once again. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate your time. If this is your first time, my name is Mamri. Please subscribe and follow us. We are on a journey to change the narrative of Africa, to educate, to re-educate our children. Thank you. God bless you. See you again. Bye-bye. Bye.